on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews, you can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. I'll be posting 4 Year Strong set. I got most of their sets, so I'll be posting that, as well as Slave set and Picturesque set in the following couple days, so definitely be on the lookout for that. Also be posting an album review of Circus Survives record, The Amulet, which will be coming out around probably the same time as this album review as well, so definitely check that one out if you're interested in that. And if you like what you heard so far, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It really does go a long way, and thank you guys for your support. So tonight, we're going to be talking about Counterparts' new record, You're Not You Anymore. So, I know very little about this band, actually. A lot of my friends have got me on to Counterparts as of recently, most notably my buddies in Funeral Tire and my friends in With Sales Ahead, more specifically Sierra. And a lot of people have been having a lot of buzz about this band, so I figured I'd check out, some of the singles that they put out, like Bouquet. I don't even know. I'm really bad at this shit. No Servant of Mine, Haunt Me, Swim Beneath My Skin. All the singles that they released, Thieves. And I really dug a lot of the stuff that they've been putting out. I know they put out another record prior to this one, which I'll probably get because I'll get that double CD bundle. If not, I'll probably pick that one up as well. But I'm really excited for this record. It's also coming out on Friday as well, so definitely be on the lookout for this record when it comes out. And they're also going on tour next year with Architects and Stick to Your Guns, which is an amazing tour, and I'm super pumped for that tour. I really want to go out to that one, so I'm going to definitely make an effort to. So I'm going to go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it. I'm going to go through some pros and cons, and then I'm going to give it an overall rating. So the first track is called Walk Away Slowly. It doesn't have really too much going on. It's an intro track. It has some really cool sort of guitar ambience to it, and it really kind of kicks in to the next track number 2, which is Bouquet. This one is the first single that they released with this album. It definitely starts off by just throwing you right into the just aggressiveness in your face, and just has this sort of melodic feel to it, which I really appreciate. I'm liking the bit of group vocals added in this track. It really kind of adds a nice little layer and a little bit of differentiating between the different tracks, which I do definitely appreciate. I like the part between 1 minute and 45 seconds to the 1 minute and 55-second mark. Just that break in the song with the sort of, cool sort of melodic, ambient sort of clean guitar riff and spoken word. I thought that was really cool and just an interesting sort of, pace breaker in this track. And also I like that, they're opening off this album with high energy, guns blazing, and for me, just to get in it just right away, I really do appreciate that. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Arms Like Teeth. This is another favorite of mine. Much like Bouquet, this one just throws you right into that just aggressive tonality and just aggressiveness of Brendan's vocals, which I appreciate. The screams just have so much emotional backing to it, which is always great to hear in bands like this. I know that that's very common in a lot of melodic hardcore bands, but to me it's just kind of a refreshing thing, considering that I listen to a lot of like metalcore and like gent and stuff like that. I feel like to me this one is a nice sort of break up to that, which I appreciate a lot. Also loving the lead guitar parts. I feel like they add a lot of diversity to this track and just accents the track beautifully, in my opinion. I love the breakdown between the 1 minute to 43-second mark to the 1 minute and 58-second mark. I feel like it just goes really hard, and a lot of these breakdowns are just super just aggressive in your face. Just they make you want to kind of like air drum. And even prior to this album review, I was just like air drumming it out because it just made me feel that certain way about a lot of these tracks off the record. So we're gonna move into track number 4, which is No Servant of Mine. This is another single as well, and is also another favorite of mine as well. Just all I had to say about this track, especially sort of the guitar parts in this track, is just riffs, riffs, riffs. They're just super awesome and just make you just kind of question how good everything is on this record so far. So really enjoyed that. Loving the sort of reverby leads to back up this sort of great sort of heavy guitar backings as well. I know that's kind of the more melodic aspects of hardcore, which I do like a lot. So I feel like they utilized it very well in this one. I feel like Brendan sounded especially well in this track. And I really love this one at the 1 minute and 40 second mark to the 2 minutes and 5 second mark. Just that breakdown slash bridge absolutely grows in, and just those pinch harmonics, absolute perfection. I love that. And it was definitely, again, one of my favorite tracks off the record. So we're going to move into track number 5, which is Haunt Me. This is probably the most recent single that they released, as recent as I think 2 days ago. Definitely loving the drumming in this track. I feel like it's the focal point of this one, in my opinion. It has just this great groove and swing to it. Again, the lead guitars just feel like, to me, are just a potent and just important part of this track and a lot of the tracks off this entire record. They really kind of bridge a lot of gaps and kind of, fill in that sort of ambient space in a lot of these tracks. So to me, I feel like it's a great divider, but also a great kind of track that brings everything together as well. And I just like it that it accents the sort of more melodic nature of this one as well. And especially towards the end of the track, I feel like that is a little bit more apparent again towards the end of this one. So we're going to move into track number 6, which is Swim Beneath My Skin. This is also a single as well. It happens to be one of my favorites too. And I definitely like that this track has some of my favorite guitar riffs off the entire record. There's one other track that I would say kind of outpaces this one, but absolutely some of my favorite riffs off this one. The chorus goes absolutely hard on this track, in my opinion. I'm really liking the bridge a lot, especially because of the sort of spoken words and screams that kind of overlap each other. I feel like it kind of just makes the track more interesting, and I also like that as the bridge progresses, the song becomes more dissonant, and then just the end, just the screaming, the 2 minutes and 5 seconds to the end of the track is just super powerful. It just hits that soul, hits you right in the feels, and just that ending hits like an absolute truck. When they do that kind of slow sort of pounding breakdown, you can absolutely feel that when you're listening to it. It must have been a cool experience to kind of sit there and listen to it, as it's being written in the studio. It just has that sort of emotional sort of just punch to it, which I really enjoy. So we're gonna move into track number 7, which is Thieves. This is another single as well. While this track may only be 1 minute and 16 seconds, it's an absolute whirlwind of a track. Aggressive is completely an understatement on this track. I could definitely see that this track, if they haven't already played it live already, will just absolutely erupt live. I feel like people will go absolutely nuts for this track, so I'm excited to hear this track being played out on that tour with Architects. Vicious, menacing, brutal are just all adjectives that I use to describe this track. Absolutely blisteringly good. And if you haven't listened to this one, I'd recommend it. So we're going to move into track number 8, which is Rope. This is another favorite of mine. It has really great bounce to it, which I enjoy. Again, pulling on those melodic heartstrings for me. Really liking the section between the 48-second mark to the 1 minute and 5 second mark. Just that guitar riff is absolutely sick. I know I've been pointing out a lot of guitar riffs, but that's something that when I'm going to listen to album reviews or listen to albums to review, those are the sorts of things that I pick out, and I just love the sort of riff writing in a lot of these tracks off this record so far. The chorus definitely has this sort of great melody to it, and from the 1 minute and 45 second marks to the end, just that ending goes absolutely in. They really know how to just take it home with a lot of those sort of hard hitting tracks. So I feel like Rope is just another one to add to that list. So we're gonna move into track number 10, which is A Memory Misread. This is another favorite of mine. I just keep yelling out my favorites, but they keep putting out some really great tracks, so it's hard to not say that these are my favorites. This one, like I mentioned prior with Swim Beneath My Skin, this one absolutely has my favorite guitar riffs off the entire record, period. I like that they added a bit of cleans to break up the track. I felt like that was really cool. And I like at the 1 minute and 18 second marks to the 1 minute and 44 second mark that they had this sort of opening up of the track. It really had this, I don't know, I really had this really cool expansiveness to it, which I appreciated a lot. And I would have liked to hear that the leads kind of carried on throughout the breakdown and like the second part of the bridge. I feel like that would have just kind of tied everything together, and that would have been probably my favorite track off the entire record. If they kind of tied those leads in, I felt like the track would have just had this sort of next level sound to it. So to me, I feel like it was a missed opportunity, but it was something that I was definitely looking forward to. So we're gonna move into track number 10, which is Fragile Limbs. This one definitely has a bit of a different vibe to it. I would almost say that it is like a black sheep off the record. It feels very different from the rest. It almost borderlines that sort of melodic metalcore sort of feeling to it, and definitely liking the cleans in the second chorus, and just the gang vocals as well, just to kind of add a little texture and a little dimension to the track. I like that they're adding cleans to a lot of these tracks. I feel like it is underutilized throughout the record. I understand that a lot of hardcore bands try to stray away from the cleans, but I really enjoyed the cleans a lot. So I'm not saying like completely take away what Counterparts is, but I would certainly like to add a little bit more flavor to the pot, if you know what I mean. So definitely like that, and I'm liking the sort of ambient outro of this one. So we're gonna move it into the last track, the title track of the record, track number 11, You're Not You Anymore, and this one just happens to be a favorite of mine as well. I think this song starts off interesting, but it definitely comes into its own. I would say that, and what I mean by that is that when I'm going through these albums, I feel like each time I got to this one, I was just really uncertain about it, and I'm still kind of uncertain about it. But each time I listen to it, I feel like it gets better and better each time I listen to it. Like I said, I feel like it's a grower track, and to me, it's definitely getting to that point, and I would say that it will inevitably become one of my favorite tracks off the record. Like I mentioned already, I like that this song really starts getting good after sort of the 1 minute mark, and that's why I had some sort of reservations. But I feel like after it gets past the minute mark, it really kind of comes into its own. I really like the distinct cleans sprinkled throughout, much like I mentioned in Fragile Limbs. I like that it would be incorporated a little bit more, maybe not like a full chorus, but just kind of use it as an accent piece. That I feel like that would be really cool. I also like the 1 minute and 43 second mark to the 1 minute and 53 second mark. There's this cool sort of unexpected breakdown part, which again I wasn't expecting, but I feel like it's a cool kind of break to the this track in particular, which I really enjoyed. I also like the sort of more ambient bridge and the sort of slower feeling to it. Again, it kind of mimics bands like Being as an Ocean, kind of Ghost Key a little bit as well, which I do like. And I like that it ends off the record in a great way, and it kind of encompasses the whole album and what it's going for and how it will sound, in my opinion. which is great because it is the title track off the record. So some pros and cons that I have about it. I feel like, again, with the cleans, I feel like it's a missed opportunity. There are some tracks that I felt like would have fit perfectly with that sort of clean motif. I wouldn't say songs like, Thieves or Beneath My Swim Beneath My Skin, but I feel like tracks maybe like Haunt Me and maybe like No Servant of Mine would have really benefited from a little bit of cleans. So and that's just my personal opinion. You may disagree with that, but I feel like that would have been a cool sort of accent piece to a lot of these tracks, and just some of them just in certain parts have a little bit of a different vibe, but I wouldn't say that they're necessarily bad. Like I mentioned, fragile, not Fragile Figures, that's a Secrets album. Fragile Limbs, I feel like that one was a bit of the odd one out, but I felt like it worked. So to me, it's not one of my favorites, but it's definitely a good track that they had off the album. But I really feel like they hit on all cylinders on this one. It's really heavy. It's really great to hear those sort of melodic accents kind of make their way through this album and just make it really memorable for me. This one was, again, an album that I wasn't expecting to listen to this year, but I really wanted to get around to listening to this one because I feel like it's a band that, a lot of people, a lot of my viewers that, watch this sort of stuff will like as well. So if you haven't heard of Counterparts like myself, I would definitely go give them a listen. So my overall rating for Counterparts, You're Not You Anymore, I'm going to be giving it a 9.5 out of 10. I would absolutely 100% recommend checking out this record. It's heavy, it's in your face, it has no apologies, it's non-apologetic, which is what I just said, and it's just really great. It's great from start to finish, and it's just awesome. I think another con would be that it's really short. Each track is kind of like 2-ish minutes long, and I think the longest track is maybe like 3 minutes. So it's a very short album. It's like under a half an hour, so you can definitely get through it within that time frame. But to me, it just felt really short, and I was expecting a little bit more. But what we got, I felt like was really good. So let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on Counterparts' new record. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Would certainly like to know if the previous record sounds like this one. I know that I heard when I was doing some read-ups on this album was that they got a new vocalist, so I'm curious to see if the older records I'll like as much as this one or vice versa. So definitely let me know what your thoughts are on that. If you think I'll like it, if you think I won't like it, whatever, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you enjoyed this review, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that thumbs up. It really does go a long way, and thank you guys for your support. Like I said, my name's Brandon, and we hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. Of course, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.